Hello and welcome back to another episode of On the Clock. I'm Jordan Ziegler, joined by Aiden Pezel and Dylan Vanderveen. As always, we had kind of a fun week last week. I hit probably one of the craziest picks I've had on the show so far.
Definitely the one with the best odds for sure. It's
easily the biggest odd comeback.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, just thank you San Diego State is all I can say. This is my favorite week of the year, the Masters week, and that's going to be our theme for this week. That's just a little preview. Talking about who's in the lead. Obviously, Pezel is still in the lead. I don't think anyone's catching him, even if he doesn't get a point the rest of the year.
Yes,
Veen and I
Hey,
both.
never say never, Jordan. Never say never.
You know what? I'll be a believer for the time. But Veen and I both had 7 points last week, so he still stays 10 points ahead of me. I am in last, to be expected. But we have exciting stuff going on this week. Obviously, I said the Masters are happening. That's going to be our theme at the end of the show. But as always, we are going to do our 3 miscellaneous locks. And Aiden, get us started with that.
Alrighty. So we're starting off with the MLB, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're coming right back to the Nerfy, and we're taking the Mets and Marlins, no runs first inning, and that's at -120. Now, the Marlins had the best Nerfy in the entire baseball season last year.
Are you saying today, the Mets and the Marlins game today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that already hit.
Well,
That
sounds
game-
good to me. Down in the books.
That game's in the bottom of
I
the
had no
third,
idea it was
0-0
already
right now.
Wow. How about that?
Well, it sounds good to me. That's a great way to start off the show.
That's points.
Yeah, everybody go take that. Go take that right now. Go back an hour in time and go take that bet real quick.
That's hilarious.
At this point, I have no other reason to even explain why to take the bet because it's already
It
hit.
happened, yeah.
So we're going to leave the MLB. We're going to hop over to the NBA tonight. We're taking the 76ers plus 10.5. Now, you might be wondering, why are the 76ers 10-point underdogs? Well, James Harden and Joel Embiid are probably not going to play. At this point in the NBA season, people are sitting because they have already clinched their playoff spots, and they're playing the Hawks, who have been the most inconsistent, most mid-team the entire year. Now, Trae Young and DeJounte Murray will probably play, but 10.5 points is a lot for a basketball game.
For
So
sure.
realistically, I think the Sixers cover that. Now, they did just get blown out by, I think it was 28 last night, so they're coming with the vengeance today, hopefully.
He said 10.5 points is a lot, but in their last
But they
game
just
they
got
lost
blown out by
28. Oh my goodness.
Well, we're looking for a big recovery today on the night of a
exactly.
back-to-back. Alrighty, and so we're going from a completely different sport, which I don't know if it's been done on the show. We're doing UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship of the world.
Yeah, we've done it. We've done it.
Have we done that?
Yeah, we've done it.
Well, this is going to be the first one to win. How about that one?
day.
Yeah, probably. I don't think any of us got it right. So
Probably not.
So we're starting off with Parlay, Raul Rosas Jr., and Gilbert Burns. We're getting that at plus 100. Now, Raul Rosas Jr. is 18 years old. This kid is 18 years old, probably the highest touted prospect ever to come in the UFC. He's 6-0 in Bellator and 1-0 in his UFC debut. Now, I watched his first fight about a month ago. This kid won in the first minute of the fight. It was crazy. This kid is just taking the UFC by storm, and I see it continuing today. Now, for the Gilbert Burns part of this, he's fighting Jorge Masvidal, who's been on the descent of his career the past year. This guy's more like a boxer than an actual UFC fighter. Great striker. He loves to go with his overhand right. Meanwhile, Gilbert Burns really sticks to the left, but is way better grappler. Gilbert Burns, if this goes to the ground, he's going to win in an instant. I think both of these fights, also, if you want to sprinkle a little bit more, they're not going to go the distance. And I think it's as easy as that. And when it comes to Gilbert Burns, this guy, the fact they're even in the same weight class doesn't make sense. Gilbert Burns sits at 200 pounds at the very least. Meanwhile, Masvidal usually probably sits at 160. So this will definitely be an interesting fight. But realistically, Gilbert Burns gets it done.
Yeah. I'm going to trust you on that because I don't really know a whole lot about the UFC. I'm not going to lie.
Yes,
and now I'm not
sir.
interested in betting on it at all, considering it's joining up with the WWE, which is the fakest sport known on the planet.
Actually,
So-
I've read about that yesterday. Dana White came out and specifically said that they will not be doing it. So luckily, it won't be rigged.
okay.
All right, whatever. All right, we'll see. All right, I'm gonna start off with mine here. We're gonna go all baseball for my picks. Come on, MLB is just the greatest sport. I love it. I actually,
my goodness
I'm not gonna lie to
gracious.
you. I'm gonna
This is
go
the
on here
only
and-
time
Oh,
I'll
no.
ever agree with anything Veen has ever said in
gonna-
his life. That is the most true statement to come out
Y'all
of
are
your mouth.
crazy.
I knew Ziggy was gonna agree with that one. Come on, he can't disagree with it.
Yeah, you can't.
I am gonna say one thing. I mean, I went and watched the pitch clock now. I am starting to like the pitch clock a lot
he's coming
more.
around on it.
Going with it
Yes, sir.
because it's just coming around a lot more. Players are starting to get used to it and everything. I do think it still needs to be 5 seconds longer, but I think that is going to end up being adjusted later on in the MLB. But I am starting to kind of like it's definitely cutting down games and getting this thing going quicker. But I'm going to go Rangers and the Cubs. I'm going to go Cubs money line tonight. I am a huge Cubs fan, and I never pick this team ever. So me picking the Cubs is going to be a really rare occurrence on the show, but I love him tonight. Marcus Stroman's pitching for the Cubs. He dealt on opening day against the Brewers.
Who's pitching for the Rangers?
Nate Eovaldi.
That guy.
So
No, I mean, Nate Eovaldi, he's kind of a dude.
yeah, I mean, no, Nate Eovaldi had a horrible first start for the Texas Rangers. He's been
he's
very
due for a
inconsistent in his
bounce back?
last couple years in Boston. I'm going
Last
to go with the
couple
Cubs.
Years, 2 years ago, he was a Cy Young candidate.
Okay, and what did he do last year?
I mean, he didn't have a great year, but you can't say last couple years when literally 2 years ago he almost won a Cy Young.
Okay, well, anyway,
led Boston to the ALCS.
They won when he
Playoffs.
pitched, and he has a 5.4 ERA, and Marcus Stroman has 0 ERA through a 1 start. I'm taking Marcus
won
Stroman. He looked
start.
great. He looked great. I'm taking him. Dansby Swadden hitting over 500. He's looking great. Cody
my
Bellinger
goodness
actually
gracious.
starting to look good. The bat in his hand,
He had
hitting
one home
above
run.
230. He went 3 for 5 the other day
Oh my gosh.
with 2 RBIs.
Took him like 15 at bats to get a hit.
12 at bats to get a hit,
Okay,
and it
I'm
was a
sorry.
3-run shot. I'm going to go with Cody Bellinger.
I
I'm
just
going to
hate
go with
the
the Cubs.
so I'm very anti this bet. But
All right, whatever. Yeah, he doesn't like the Cubs. He hates the Cubs. But
do.
we're gonna move on. I'm gonna go with the other leg in that one. It's gonna be the Yankees over the Orioles tonight. Look, Schmidt's pitching for the Yankees. The Yankees are a better team than the Orioles. Orioles are starting to come around, but the Yankees just got an unbelievable lineup this year. I think Anthony Volpe is gonna be incredible for the Yankees. I'm going to go
When
the
he actually
Yankees
gets a
tonight. Just
hit.
kind of blindly picking the Yankees. I'm going to be honest with you, over the Orioles. They've dominated the Orioles over the last few years. Obviously, the Orioles are a way better team than they've been the last couple of years, but Yankees still have their number. I think they win tonight. Going on to my next parlay, so that's going to be 2 worth 5 points. The next parlay is going to be an over and an under. I'm going to go with an under in the Phillies and Reds game. Zach Wheeler's on the mound for the Phillies, and Hunter Green's on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds.
I like that.
Hunter Green is one of my favorite pitchers. He's nasty for the Reds. Won't be on the
When he
Reds in a
throws
few
strikes, he's
years.
nasty.
Yeah, when he throws strikes,
he's
he does have
nasty.
some control problems.
A lot of control
But
problems.
I do think that he's just like sitting here just every little opportunity.
He's not liking it.
No,
But
I do like that under.
Yeah, I do like the under. It's under 9 runs. I mean, I just don't see those two teams scoring 9 runs with Hunter Green and Zach Wheeler on the mound. Zach Wheeler had a horrible first start. I think he's going to bounce back. Obviously, he played the Yankees in his first start. But so I'm going to go that one, and I'm going to go the over in the Houston Astros game.
Who do they play?
The Minnesota Twins. Sorry, I had to find it real quick.
Okay.
Urquidy's playing, and then Sonny Gray are pitching for those two teams. Urquidy, he's been inconsistent for the Houston Astros, and Sonny Gray has not been what he was since he was on early in his career, since he was traded and everything like that. I mean, those two pitchers, but over 7 runs. Over 7 runs. I'm going to take it. I think the Astros score 5 off the Twins in that game in 7-2. That will be a push right there. I could see it innings 5-3, something like that. Take the over, 2-leg parlay there at 5 points. And my last two is going to be the under in the Cardinals and Brewers game. Brandon Woodruff on the mound and Jake Flaherty's on the mound. I've talked about Jake Flaherty on the mound, or Jake Flaherty before. I love him. When he's healthy, he's great. Brandon Woodruff, we all know what Brandon Woodruff can do when he's healthy and he's great. So I'm going to go ahead with the Cardinals bullpen's decent. Brewers bullpen's okay. I mean, we're going to go with it, but over 9 runs, I don't see these two teams scoring 9 runs combined with those two pitchers on the bump for the first 6 innings. So I'm going to take the under in that one. And then I'm going to take the Rockies' money line against the Nationals tonight. I thought about taking over-under, but the over-under is at 11.5 right now, and that game ended 1-0 last night. And I was watching that game, and I'm like, wow, these two teams, they're in Colorado, and they scored 1 run between the two teams. I'm like, that's really embarrassing. So I didn't want the over-under there.
Staffs,
yeah, they're both horrible pitching staffs. So it's good to see Chris Bryant swinging for the Rockies. He's hitting over 350 right now. Hopefully he can stick with that and actually become the player that they want him to be there with his bad back. But I'm going to go the Rockies money line, close out the last 2-leg parlay.
Yeah.
Lots of parlays today.
Yeah,
huh,
I mean, he has 20
points.
Potential points. So you know.
There it is.
I go big every game, and I get like 5 to 7. So it works out for me.
We need something to come back.
All right. I have no parlays, but I am all MLB. I'll make it pretty quick. I have the Marlins money line. As we know, that game's going right now. It's plus 135. It's tied 0-0.
No, it's not. It's 1-0.
Okay, never mind. It's 1-0.
Dylan's got the live updates today.
Dylan's apparently watching the game on TV. Who's up 1-0?
The Mets. And the bet's at bases loaded with 2 outs right now.
That's not good. Well,
Alrighty.
my logic being Edward Cabrera is going to pitch really well for the Marlins, and Jorge Soler and Jazz Chisholm are off to pretty good starts. So I was, going to go with that. But obviously,
I mean, he has pitched really well. He's given up no hits, but he's also walked 7.
Well, that is a problem, certainly. Yeah,
rough.
okay. Anyway, I'm still riding with it. Jorge Soler and Jazz Chisholm will have some big hits late, and that'll make the difference. Moving on, we're going to go Mariners at -1.5, plus 170. Logan
Whoa.
Gilbert on the mound versus Aaron Savelli. Obviously, Logan Gilbert is the better pitcher in that matchup. Teoscar Hernandez and A.J. Pollock, 2 of the newest bats for the Mariners, have really started to get things going after some pretty horrible starts, to be 100% honest. But they found something in that Angels series. They're both starting to get kind of hot. Obviously, Julio Rodriguez is batting lights out. Eugenio Suarez is batting over 300. Ty France is batting over 300. I mean, the lineup is really good right now. They just have to, be really good against good teams. And I think that they're going to do that tonight. They're going to get to Savali. And yes, the Guardians have a great bullpen, but I don't think that's going to matter.
I mean, I'm
the Mariners
going to look
tag
at this right
Savali.
here. Like you say, you're talking about the averages stuff like that, but Seattle's hitting 222 as a team right now.
Yeah, the bottom of the lineup I didn't mention for a reason. And
Just leave that out.
That reason is because they're not hitting well.
Yeah, at all. Yeah.
At all. No, but anyway, we're going to ignore that.
It's great value for a -1.5.
That's what I'm saying.
Plus 170. I mean, they are in Cleveland though, so I'd be kind of cautious
It is
about
also
that.
Cleveland's home opener, but it's Aaron
Yeah.
Savali, so everyone calm down.
Yeah, Aaron Savali can either pitch really good or he can pitch really bad.
We're gonna have a blow-up night from
Really
Aaron
bad.
Savali.
There it is.
But finally, Cardinals money line plus 125. I was a little shocked it was actually this high. I know Woodruff is pitching, and obviously Brandon Woodruff is an elite pitcher, but Jack Flaherty is the ace of the Cardinals staff.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I know he's not as good as Brandon Woodruff is, don't get me wrong, but I think the Cardinals lineup probably balances this out. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, Jordan Walker really getting things going. Obviously an elite lineup. I really like the Cardinals here. I think they're going to win it. But coming up after the break, we have a Freaky Friday segment from Jack McGarr, and then after that, we're going to talk about the Masters, so stick with us as we go to break.
What's up, guys? It's Jack McGarr, and today, with the NBA games not mattering a whole lot for the future of some teams and seedings, I'm going to go with future picks for the NBA. I'm going to start out with the Bucks future championship win plus 290. Now, the value's not great considering we still have a month away from the championship, but in my opinion, the Bucks are the best team in the league, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the league. It's as simple as that. And the Bucks this year are super, super deep, and that's kind of what you need to win a championship. With guys like Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, I can keep naming names. They've got guys that can all hit shots, step up, play good defense, and that's why they're the #1 team in the East. They have so many guys that can step up in critical moments in the playoffs, and they've done it before. They've won a championship pretty much with this roster. A couple of new guys here and there. They just added Jay Crowder as well. They've got guys that can come in, hit big shots, make big plays. I think the Bucks are easily the best team in the league, and I think they're going to show that in the playoffs as well. And the East is not very strong, especially in the playoffs. I think they get at least to the finals pretty easily, and then it'll matter who they play at that point. The next play I have is the Phoenix Suns at plus 450 for the championship. I like the value on this a lot, considering the Phoenix Suns might have one of the best rosters in the league with adding Kevin Durant. They've got Booker, Chris Paul, Durant, Ayton, and a lot of guys that can step off the bench and make plays. Terrence Ross, TJ Warren, Torrey Craig, Okogie. They've got a lot of guys that can step out and play good defense, especially with guys like Chris Paul aging and even Kevin Durant aging a little bit, but his defense is still there. They got a lot of guys that can score the bucket at will, and they've got guys that can play defense as well. with guys like Durant that can hit a shot pretty much anytime he wants, you can't double him or else it's going to go to Booker, who can also hit a shot anytime he wants. Then it'll go to Chris Paul, who can lob it to Ayton. I mean, you can't double anybody on the starting roster. Their bench is not as deep as the Bucks, and that's what scares me a little bit for them, and also the health of Kevin Durant having missed a couple games now. But as we've seen with that full roster, they're 8-0 with Kevin Durant and Booker, Paul, and Ayton as well. That team's pretty hard to beat, and they're going to be even harder to beat in the playoffs when they ramp up their intensity and they play Kevin Durant at full speed. As long as this team can stay healthy, I don't really see a team beating them in the West besides maybe the Denver Nuggets, but their playoff experience is still a little weary. So I would take the Suns probably to win the West, honestly. I don't see a team that's as good as them beating them at this point. I think the Suns are the best team in the West, especially in the playoffs. So plus 450 to win the chip is actually really good odds for them. But my sleeper pick to win the championship, and I like this future a lot, is the Clippers plus 2,200 to win the championship. This roster might be the deepest in the entire league. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook playing like MVP Russell Westbrook right now. He's having a great resurgence off the Clippers. They've got Mason Plumlee, Eric Gordon, Nicholas Batum. They've got guys that can shoot the ball at will and make shots. This team is really hard to defend on the offensive side of the ball, and with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George at full health, this team can play defense as well. We saw their offense against the Kings in the second highest game ever. I think it was like 160-something to 160-something. They can score the ball at will. They had a game against the Bulls a few weeks ago where they shot 50% from the three-point line, making 20 threes that game. I mean, this team is really hard to stop on the offensive end, and they've got guys that can shoot the ball at will. Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, Bones Highland, Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee. I mean, I can name names. This team is really, really deep. What matters really is their health, and honestly, the matchups that they get in the playoffs. I think if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can be fully healthy and play in every single game that they play, and especially Paul George being dependable in the playoffs, I think that's really what's going to matter. It'll matter what their matchups are in the end for them. Teams like the Bucks and the Suns, I don't know if I really care who their matchups are in the playoffs. I think they can go. But the Clippers, it'll matter who they play. If they can get some favorable matchups and they get their big stars to stay healthy and stay dependable in the playoffs, this team's going to make at least a conference finals run, if not a finals run. My last future I have for you today is a lock with a little bit of juice on it. It's Jaren Jackson Jr. minus 150 to win the Defensive Player of the Year. I don't really know why the value is so good here because I think he's really the runaway favorite for the award, although I'll give my love to Brook Lopez. In my opinion, Brook Lopez should win the award, but I know he will not because of name recognition. On a team with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, all these guys that are getting much more attention from the media and fans alike, Brook Lopez is not a name or a guy you're watching night in, night out. Jaren Jackson Jr. on the Grizzlies is their second best player, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, maybe their most valuable player on that team with the defense that he brings in. Although he's only played, I think, 42 games, 62 games. He's had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks a game, and a steal every night. That defense has been there night in, night out. Although he hasn't played a lot of games, Brook Lopez has played 78 games, so he's almost played every game this year. But the way that Jaren Jackson Jr. has been able to bounce back and had that defense night in, night out, and has been the dependable, pretty much the anchor of that defense, I think is what's going to win him the award. And just his name recognition alone, I think will win him the award. There's a little controversy whether some of his blocks and steals may count or may not count when he plays at home, but you got to go with what the stats say right now on ESPN. You got to go with what the record holders are showing. I think really, again, I think Brook Lopez should win the award, but I know Jaren Jackson Jr. will win the award because of his name recognition and the highlight plays that he has. Fans like highlight plays, and the media likes highlight plays, and the fact that Jaren Jackson Jr. is doing that night in, night out, and Brook Lopez is not getting the media attention that he deserves with Giannis Antetokounmpo being on that team. I don't think there's any way that Jaren Jackson Jr. loses this award. And at minus 150, that's actually really good value considering the regular season's almost over. So I think that's a pretty much lock at minus 150. But after the break, we're going to talk a little bit of Masters, so best stay tuned to that.
Do you feel like you are constantly coughing or always reaching for the tissues? Or maybe you have a headache that just won't go away no matter what you try. Did one of your favorite hobbies become an empty pastime? Are you constantly exhausted and wanting to sleep all day?
Welcome back to On the Clock, and it's the moment you all been waiting for, the Masters picks. Not really necessarily my greatest sport. My greatest sport's probably baseball or football, so I'm going to toss it over to Jordan Ziggy to start off this show.
Yeah, Ziggy isn't my last name.
Yeah,
but-
Ziegler, who cares?
Potato,
I call you
tomato.
Ziggy. I call you Ziggy.
I know.
Jordan,
I'm messing with you.
Yeah,
I was
let me
messing
put
with
it back.
you.
I'll toss
I
it to
was-
Jordan
oh,
Ziegler.
My goodness, I was messing with you. What I wouldn't do for a pimento cheese sandwich at Augusta right now. I love the Masters, every bit about it. Unfortunately, I'm very bad at picking sports that I think I know a lot about, so I'm probably not going to do great here, to be honest with you. But we're still going to make picks anyway. My first pick is Jordan Spieth to win the whole thing at plus 1,600. It's a lot. It's
great odds.
worth 5 points. We've decided on that. He won in 2015. Probably should have won in 2016, but completely collapsed on Amen Corner. He is always kind of in the running. I don't think he's ever missed a cut at the Masters in his entire career, which is very impressive. And right now he's in the running too. He's 5 under through 12 holes, 2 under today. Obviously, Brooke Koepka leads it at 12 under.
Yes, sir.
But I think if Jordan Spieth can get to like 8 under for the day and be 4 strokes back of
He'll be in striking position.
most
Yeah,
likely
sure.
Brooks Koepka is going to have the lead at the end of the day. So to be 4 strokes back heading into Saturday and Sunday, I mean, he's been here a million times. He's won the U.S. Open. He's won the Masters. And I believe he's won another major, whether it's the Players' Championship or the Open. I don't know. But he's won majors. He's won tournaments.
He's washed.
He's still
He's
one of the
washed.
best golfers in the world. At plus 1,600, you're getting really good value because he didn't have a great first round and he's having a much better second round today. So Jordan Spieth, I like that a lot. And then we're gonna do the same thing we did with our Final Four predictions from last week, is I'm just gonna do something weird. I'm gonna just do something weird. And that weird thing is I've at plus 700, anytime hole-in-one, and for the Masters to go to a playoff. So basically what needs to happen is someone has to hit a hole-in-one from now until the end of the tournament at any hole, most likely a par 3, but if someone drives a hole-in-one on a par 4, sick. Yeah, but I really we're overdue for a competitive Masters. If you look at when our last competitive Masters was, it was 2019 when Tiger won it. And yes, he only won it by a stroke, but if you look at it, all he had to do was bogey the final hole.
Exactly.
Like, he was in. He played it super safe. Like, it was impossible for him not to win. That wasn't even that competitive. We are far overdue for a competitive Masters.
Need a playoff,
And I
for
think
sure.
we're going to get a playoff out of that. So those are going to be my 2 picks. I don't know who's next. So
Mr.
someone
Dillon
take it
over there.
over.
I'll go next. Obviously, I just mentioned the Masters, but not my greatest sport. But I'm going to go with the little parlay that's 2 people to finish in the top 10. I'm going to go with the guy that Jordan just mentioned, and Jordan Spieth to finish in the top 10.
Let's
I like
go.
that.
He's
My namesake.
he's still one of the top 10 golfers in
Yes.
the world. So
Absolutely.
him finishing in the top 10 right now. What did you say he's ranked? What, 12th right now?
No, he's tied for 6 right now.
Oh, tied for 6 right now.
Yeah,
Perfect.
he's
He's
great
inside the
position,
top. I can see him definitely staying there, maybe even climbing up. And then I've got Scotty Scheffler as well. Last time I checked, he was tied for 23rd, but I don't see a problem with him kind of jumping up. He's only a couple strokes behind the top 10. He's a really good golfer, so I think those 2 definitely finish in the top 10.
Scotty's definitely got a shot to reach top 10. I honestly
for
took that bet personally for myself a couple days ago.
Yeah, I like this guy bet.
Alrighty, then for me, I'm taking Xander Schauffele, if that's how you say his
Schauffele.
name. Exactly. To finish top 10, and we're getting that at plus 120. Really, I don't know this guy. All I know is that at the beginning of the Masters, he was like a top 10 favorite to be top 10.
Yeah,
and he's
I
in
picked
striking
him to
distance
win.
right now. I don't know how he's doing today, but I do like the pick.
He's tied for 11th right now.
All right,
Where I-
right
There you
there.
go.
He's right,
Right
there where
there.
we need him. And so then on my next one, we're taking Brooks Koepka, the PGA villain, to win it all. Now, before the Masters, I got him at plus 3,500. But
Wow.
coming in yesterday when I was going to make this pick, I had it at plus 700. Now he was in the early window today. Now he's at plus 160. So now the value just continues to decrease.
Yeah.
But realistically, he has the best chance to win right now. Now we got this guy Bennett right on his toes,
Bennett.
the amateur.
He's an amateur. That's awesome. I love that so much. Like amateur even making the cut is crazy, but the fact that he's literally
At
competing
-8
for
right
green
now?
jacket, I mean that's ridiculous.
It's like a Happy Gilmore type situation. I love
Yeah.
it.
That's a real Cinderella story for
I
sure.
love it.
And it's not
Certainly.
even March. Alrighty, but for our next segment, we're doing something completely brand new where we all set our differences aside as a host and we do a squad ride.
Oh, God.
So, which means we're all came together, we made one pick, and as Ziggy already stated, that one pick is for any time in the Masters to get a hole in one.
Probably a stupid pick.
Hey, squatter ride.
Definitely
squad
a long
ride.
shot.
Yeah.
If it hits, though,
from
it's going to be
half court.
insane. If it hits, it's going to be insane.
Oh,
so
we're
it doesn't
gonna.
matter.
Drinks on me, 100%.
You heard it here first. It's
Yeah, you
on
heard it here
Basil.
first, yeah. Gotta say.
Yes, sir.
I'll remember that at the bar when I see you.
Yeah, when we run into each other. Yeah.
And I'll be just running out the bar.
Gonna start booking it home.
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
And so as we kind of wrap up the day, we'll take a quick look at the scoreboard and the potential points for today. There's a lot of sports going this weekend. We got MLB, NBA, UFC, NHL, and of course, the Masters. And maybe sprinkle a little and some XFL if you're feeling frisky this weekend. But make
I'd
sure.
be real damn bored for that to be.
Yeah,
That's
now
how you
with
know you're
baseball
getting
going on.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
But make sure to tune in to On the Clock social media, and we'll see you again next Friday on the Clock.